Hi, Crystal from Frosted Saddle here. I'm going to show you 6 different ways to hem, whether it's pants, dresses, skirts, prom dresses, wedding dresses, jeans, all kinds of things. So it all depends on the look that you're going for and what kind of fabric that you're using. First of all, you want to mark your hem. You can use a chalk mark, where you can just go and mark the chalk on there, or you can use straight pins. Anyway, you want to mark the finished length of the hem, where you want it to finish at. If it's a prom dress or something and it's on the floor, it's probably best to get down on your hands and knees and pin it. Or if you have a dressmaker, you can use a chalk marker on that mannequin. 99% of the time, you do want to mark it while your client has it on. And if it is a prom dress or mother of the bride dress, you want them to bring the shoes that they're going to wear with it. That way that you can mark it the exact length that they need it to the floor. If it's just a skirt or a little girl's dress, you may know about the length that you want it. Just make sure they have the right shoes on that they're going to be wearing. And once it's marked on the finished length, then we're going to decide which hem to use. I've got a bunch marked, pressed up already, so I can quickly show you so this video doesn't get too long. So then you'll need to add, and I'll just tell you that as we go along. So let's get started with the first one, because you might need to add a 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1 1/4 inches, 2 inches, depending on which hem you're going to use. Okay, we'll go over to the machines now. This first hem is it's a good hem to put like in a little girl's cotton dress. Here's the material I'm using. I have already pressed up 1/4 of an inch once, and then press up another 1/4 of an inch twice. And you can pin it if you're comfortable with pinning it. I usually, if I have a good press in there, I just use my hands to do it. So you're gonna hold it down. I have my normal presser foot on, and I'm gonna sew, just wanna show you. I'm going to sew 1/8 of an inch from the edge right here. And so just get your mark on your presser foot. You may want to move your needle over to a position if you wanted to run it along the edge. So I'm just going to back stitch for a second. And we'll get going. Then just use your fingers and get the rest of it ready. I'm using a contrasting thread today. I'm using white on here, but then here's the outside of it. So you want the thread in your bobbin, because that's what will show on the outside of the dress. There's method number 1. The second method we're going to do, you might want to do in case you don't have a sewing machine. So you can serge the edge, or you can zigzag the edge and then turn up the amount that you need. So that's how much you're going to want to add to the finished mark that you had. And then you're going to hand stitch it down, okay? Or if you don't have a sewing machine, you might want to just use a pressed edge. So here I have turned up 1/4 of an inch, and then I use a sewing gauge. So I added an inch. So you'll mark your finished length, and then you're going to turn up 1 1/4 because you pressed under 1/4. So you're gonna turn up 1 1/4. And then to hand stitch, you can just come up in the fold like that, and then you can hide your knot under there, and you're going to just take a little bite out of the material. I'm using this contrasting thread so you can see it better. And then you're going to go and you're just going to take another little bite. This is chain stitching. Try to just grab one thread on the material, and then you can grab more on the hem part. And that is just a chain stitch. Might have added too big of a bite right there. You want to do it about every 1/4 inch apart. And then on the other side, once you press that out and you use the same color of thread, then you're not even going to be able to see that. But you do have to hand stitch. But that's very relaxing. But just do it about every 1/4 inch apart. You can do a blind stitch hem, and you come in side of this pressed edge, and then you're just going to take one little bite and come up a little ways. To where it hides your stitch on the front. So you're going through one little stitch on the front. You can see where the needle is right there. And then you're going through the fold. That way you can not see it on the back. Okay. There's method number 2. So you can do it on a pressed edge or a serged edge. On this, you would just do the same thing. Just catch some of the material. Make sure you catch it, not just the threads. I'm going to put in a jean hem. This is denim material. And I have pressed up 1/2 inch and another 1/2 inch. So from that finished measurement you took, you're going to add 1 inch. 1/2 for the pressed up edge and another 1/2 for the other one, so that you have a folded edge here. And I'm just going to run it right along my presser foot. An 1/8 of an inch. You want the color of thread in the bobbin to show, because that's what will be on the outside. And I used a gold thread so it looks exactly like jean hem, like you would buy them. Now if you're gonna sew over a seam, say there's a seam here, they do make, I have a point turner, and this point turner has a little notch in the outside edge. So if you're going over a seam and you're sewing along, let's say we're continuing right here and we're about to hit a seam. There's a big bulky seam. I usually make it to where the needle lands down. You can raise your presser foot. Say the bulky seam is about right there. And instead of trying to go up and over that, you can raise your presser foot, put this in here behind it, where it raises that the same length as what your seam is. So you can feel the bulk right there. And then if you get to the other side of it, I'm going to turn it around this way and put it up under there until you've cleared that seam. And then it can lay flat and keep going. And I should have showed you that from the other side instead of that side, but you get the idea. See how it went over that seam? And that's 3 different layers, doubled, so that's over 6 layers. So it helped jump that stitch without it skipping any stitches. And once you start doing these, you need to make sure, you know, turn the other side and make sure that your tension and everything is good. Okay. Next, I'm going to show you how to blind stitch hem on your sewing machine. You will need a foot. That's a blind hemming foot. You need to set your machine for a blind hem. Mine's a number 5 on here. It goes, I don't know if you can see that. It's this one right here. It stitches about 4 times and then it jumps over and then comes back. I have pressed under 1/2 inch and pressed that, and then I again pressed over 1 1/4. So you're going to need to add 1 3/4 inches to this one from your finished length that you marked, okay? Now with this one, you're on the inside, okay? You have it pressed up, and then you're going to grab it and leave about 1/4 of an inch showing, and you're going to put that under your machine. You're going to move this little wheel right here so that it takes a good bite out of your material. So I'm going to sew a few stitches. I don't know if y'all saw that wheel. Yeah, this little wheel you turn to run right along the edge of this. Every machine's probably going to be different. So I'm going to take those 4 stitches, and then I'm going to see where it goes down in the material. And it's going to take just a small bite out of this side. Okay. Took that bite, and then it's going to take about 4 stitches over there. If it's taking too big of a bite, you can widen your stitch length, your stitch width rather. Widen it or narrow it to where it just takes to where it's still on this material here, but just takes a small bite out of this side. You may want to stop before you get too far and just make sure that it's looking good on the outside, not taking too big of a bite. And you can just barely see those little gold stitches. By the time you go press it out, you won't even be able to see it. And then from this side, it shows, and it just kind of looks like a blind hem stitch. So again, you're gonna press under a ½ inch, and then turn it, and then just pull it up about 1/4 inch, and then you're going to sew along the inside right there. If you have a serged edge or a zigzag edge, like on here, you do the same thing. You don't have to press up any under. So I just added 1 1/4 inches here. So I'm going to take that 1 1/4 inch, and I'm going to turn down. I'm just going to start here in the middle. Might need to leave a little more on that edge to sew, about 1/4 inch. And then we're going to check our, see, I don't know if that took a bite. I might need to loosen it off a little. And I think I'm going to narrow the stitch width because I don't have as much over here, and I want it to catch on the material, not just those thread edges. Sometimes you can turn that hand wheel to see how much it's going to take. And it looks like I need to loosen this screw a little more. Or tighten it. To where it takes enough out of that. That looks like a better bite out of it. Once you get that set and right along the edge of your presser foot guide, you should be golden. Okay. So there's what it looks like. There's where you just sewed, and if you turn it to the outside, you can see those stitches, but if it's in the same color of thread, I might could have backed off on that a little bit, that bite. It looks like a pretty big stitch, but you get the idea. Once you press that out and it's the same color, you won't be able to see it. That's a pretty fast and effective way to do it. Okay. Next, I'm going to show you a rolled hem. This works good on chiffon, like on prom dresses, or I just finished one this week for a mother of the bride, and marked the hem and cut it off. And you do want to try it on them first, because some of the hems that are in them are not even. So try it on them with their shoes on, mark it, the finished length, and then you'll add about a ½ inch. You do this on your serger. It is 3 threads, and I've taken out the left needle, and you change all your settings. Your upper looper is a little bit looser, and your lower looper is a little bit tighter. That's what makes it roll over to the other side. So let me demonstrate this. On this chiffon. And I'm cutting off just a little, about 1/4 inch. And there is the stitch. Isn't that pretty? I think you can see that. And then the back is just rolled to where that's your finished look. You can also do it on little cotton dresses. Here's some cotton. And I'm just gonna serge off about 1/4 inch. I just lift the toe of that up. Just read your manuals, guys and dolls, and see how to set up your serger for the rolled hem. single stitch on the cotton fabric. You sew from the right side, from the top. Okay, now I want you to see it on some knit material. This one has a pretty good stretch to it, but we're just gonna run it through without stretching it first. Whoops. I might need to change my stitch up on that. It looks kind of wonky. Okay, and then if you want a lettuce edge, you're just gonna pull. You're gonna pull the front, stretch your material while it's sewing. And so there's when we first started. And then there is the lettuce edge. Let's see if y'all can see that better. See, it looks like lettuce. That's really cute on the bottom of a little girl's dress or on the sleeves. Okay, there's your rolled hem. Lastly, I'm going to show you a cover lock stitch. It's called a cover stitch. And I've added a 5/8 of an inch, and I've pressed it up on my material. This is good. It's a t-shirt hem, the kind that you see in the bottom of t-shirts on the sleeves or in the very bottom hem. It is really nice for knit materials. So this is a stretchy knit, and it's really nice for that. So what you want to do is get under your presser foot, and you want to measure on this little line right here. And you want that line to be right even with the end. So what you're going to do is figure out where it needs to go to do that. And mine is right here at the edge of this presser foot. Because you're going to sew from the top side. It makes 2 stitches in the top and then does an overlock underneath. So I'm going to turn it over so that I have the pressed under edge underneath. You want to give it a really good press so that it stays there. You want to get on the material. You're going to lower your presser foot. You're going to hold those threads, and you're just going to guide it right along there. I'm using a different color of thread so that you can see it. And it ate the material. My threads got tangled up, so I had to start that again. So I'm going to go down here to show you. I have this machine of my mom's, and it's really old. And I've been trying to get it to work, so let's see if we can do it. You do have to start on the material. You can feel underneath and make sure your pressed edge is still under there. looking good. If you're going around and around, you want to just end up right back at the start of these two, where these two needles are. And so it just has 2 top needles and 1 chain stitch. So you just need 3 cones of thread. But you pull the needle down with the hand wheel towards you till it's all the way down. Then you're going to lift up the presser foot, and then you're going to turn it away from you, the hand needle, and that kind of disengages the bottom chain stitch. You just want to pull your thread out like that, and then that way it's ready to go again. But you just end up on the top of your other stitching. Trying to get this in the light. So there is your 2 top stitches, and then underneath on the hem is your chain stitch, and it enclosed that seam for you. Isn't that cool? I looked at new ones the other day because I want one that works really good, and I'm gonna start saving my money. Isn't that pretty? It's gorgeous for knits, and especially the bottom of little knit dresses for girls that are so popular. Okay, thanks. Well, there you have it. There's 6 different ways you can put a hem in. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them down below, and I really appreciate you watching my channel. Like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.
Hey guys, this is Ellie here. Today I'm showing off my box. I'm gonna open it. It's a surprise. Can you see it? Isn't it beautiful and cute? Like and subscribe. Bye.